Hello, class. Good to see you again. Time to show me what you got. This is American English File, 2nd edition, Book 3 Workbook, Part 4A, Failure and Success. Part 1, Grammar, can, could, be able to. A. Everybody circle the correct form and check if both statements are correct, if both situations are possible. All right, you know the drill. For example, she can swim really well, or she is able to swim really well because she used to live by the ocean. So both statements are possible, so you check. But look at number 2. You don't need to be able to drive to live in the city. Only be able to is correct, so you circle that one. As always, stop the video, take your time and do it yourself. Very good. Now check your answers with your friends. Let's do it together. Number 3, Luke could read when he was only 3 years old, or Luke was able to read. Both of them are correct. Number 4, if it doesn't rain tomorrow, we can go for a long walk, or we'll be able to go for a long walk. Number 5, sorry, I've been so busy that I haven't been able to call until now. Number 6, if Maria had a less demanding job, she could enjoy life more, or she would be able to enjoy life more. Number 7, I've never been able to dance well, but I'd love to learn. Number 8, we're really sorry we couldn't come to your wedding, or we weren't able to come to your wedding. Both of them are correct. I used to be able to speak a little Portuguese, but I've forgotten most of it now. Number 10, can you make it to the dinner tonight, or will you be able to make it to the dinner tonight? Both of them are correct. Number 11, to work in this company, you must be able to speak at least 3 languages. Wow, now that's a demanding job. All right, and the last one, let's check it together. Number 12, I hate not being able to communicate with the local people when I'm traveling. All right, you did great. Time for us to move to part B. All right, everybody read Tyler Roos's resume, CV. Then complete the sentences with the correct form of can, could, or be able to. Okay, let's read the CV together. Yeah? Name, Tyler Ruiz. The first name is Tyler, the last name is Ruiz. Date of birth. All right. 22nd of, if I'm not mistaken, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 22nd of September 1980. Education. Degree in French with Marketing, 2003. Masters in Business Administration, MBA, 2006. Started PhD in Business, 2009, incomplete. He's still studying. Work experience, 1998 to 2000. Trainer and operator with Texas Instruments, London. 2003 to 2009, assistant, then marketing manager, Texas Instruments, Dallas, USA. 2009 until present, managing director, AHH Marketing Services, Hong Kong. Other skills, IT skills, advanced. Course in web design, 1999. Languages, French, fluent. Chinese, basic, certificate, 2008. I hope to start Russian classes next January. Hobbies and interests. Water sports, especially sailing and windsurfing. All right, so Tyler can sail. Yeah? Let's do it together, me and you. Number 2, he could speak a little Chinese when he started working in Hong Kong, or he was able to. Number 3, he can't or isn't able to speak German. Number 4, he has been able to design websites since 1999. Number 5, he'd like to be able to speak Russian. Number 6, he couldn't or wasn't able to finish his PhD before he left the US. And number 7, he will be able to speak a little Russian soon, or he'll be able to. All right, very good. So I was mistaken here. When it says incomplete, it means that he isn't studying right now. He left it because he left to, I think he went to Hong Kong. I don't know, it's mixed. Very good, you did great. All the way to part 2, pronunciation, sentence, stress. Everyone, listen and repeat. All right, copy the rhythm.
File 4A, pronunciation. 1,
She can sing very well.
2,
I've never been able to ski.
3,
Can you read a map?
4,
You won't be able to go out tomorrow.
5,
He hasn't been able to walk very fast since he hurt his leg.
6,
They aren't able to come tonight.
All right, very good. You did great. You can listen multiple times and practice as many times as you want. Let's continue. Now it's time for my favorite part, reading. Everybody, read the article once and match paragraphs A to D with photos 1 to 4. We have Steven Spielberg, Isaac Newton, Bill Gates, and Thomas Edison. All right, this is your turn. I'm going to wait for you.
A few moments later.
Okay, you're back. Now let's read it together and answer it. Shall we? Let's start. Failure, the first step toward success. That's right. Many people who have found success started out by failing. Below are 4 of the most famous. All right, A. Some people consider this man to be the greatest scientist who has ever lived. However, his early life was nothing special. He was very small as a child and he was a very bad student. When he was 12, his mother took him out of school so that he could learn how to run the family farm. Unfortunately, he wasn't very good at that either. So in the end, he was sent back to school. After eventually passing his exams, he went to Cambridge University where he became a brilliant scholar. Later, he developed his law of gravity. Of course, this is Isaac Newton. Yeah, the story of that apple. Very good, indeed. B. This man is one of the most famous inventors of all time, which is incredible when you think he only went to school for 3 months. After his teacher lost patience with him, his mother taught him at home and he learned many important lessons from reading books. His working life started as badly as his schooling had, and he was fired from his first 2 jobs. However, this gave him more time to experiment. By the end of his life, he had invented over 1,000 devices. His most famous invention was a certain type of light bulb. Of course, this is Thomas Edison. All right, C. Ask anyone to name the most famous movie director in Hollywood, and many of them will say this man's name. However, his movie career started badly as he was rejected 3 times from film school. He eventually started his studies at a different school, but he dropped out to become a director before he had finished. Since then, he has won the Oscar for the Best Director twice, and 3 of his movies have broken box office records. He went back to school in 2002 to finish his studies and earn his BA degree. Of course, this is Steven Spielberg, right? And the last one, it's Bill Gates. We already know, but let's read about him. Although he's one of the most successful businessmen and computer programmers of all time, this man didn't actually finish college. He was very bright at school and went to Harvard University, but he spent most of his time using the college's computers for his own projects and didn't do much studying. After dropping out, he decided to start his own company with a friend. This company failed, but he persisted and won a contract with IBM, which eventually resulted in his company becoming one of the most powerful and recognized brands in the world today. So you see, if they can fail and succeed after it, you can do it as well. The difference is you fail a couple of times and you say, no, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. It's not in my capabilities.
It doesn't matter what you think!
You gotta do it. All right, I have another exercise for you. Read the article again, mark the sentences true or false. You know the drill, it's your turn.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, you're back. Check your answers with your friends. The first one is done. Isaac Newton almost became a farmer. True. Number 2. He was never a very good student. False. Number 3. Thomas Edison missed 3 months of school when he was a child. False. Number 4. He didn't make a good impression on his bosses at the start of his working life. True. Number 5. Steven Spielberg couldn't go to the film school he wanted to. True. Number 6. He has never finished a degree. False. Number 7. Bill Gates failed out of college. False. Number 8. His first company wasn't successful. It's true. Very good. Now everybody, we have some highlighted words, yeah? You can check the definition in a dictionary. Check the meaning. Very good. Now, complete the sentences with one of the highlighted words or phrases. For example, look, the child's parents lost patience with her and sent her to her room. All right, again, this is your turn.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, number 2. He wasn't enjoying college, so he dropped out after the first year. Number 3. After several months, she eventually managed to persuade her boyfriend to see an opera. Number 4. My colleague was fired for sending personal emails from work. Number 5. My husband refuses to buy expensive brands of clothing. Number 6. There was a huge line at the box office because it was the opening night of the movie. Well done. You did great. You see, you just show me persistence. Don't quit. You made it so far. Part 4. ED and ing adjectives. You remember them, yeah? I taught you in the book. All right. If it's right, check. If it's wrong, X and correct the wrong adjectives. For example, number 1. Turn the channel. This is a bored TV show. X, it's a boring TV show, right? All right, let's do it together. Number 2, taking care of small children can be very tiring. Number 3, his test scores were very disappointing. It's correct. Number 4, I was very embarrassed when my phone rang in the meeting. It's correct again. Number 5, Junko was very surprised because she didn't know they were coming. Number 6, we took a lot of pictures because the view was so amazing. It's correct. Number 7, are you interested in car racing? It's correct. And the last one, she felt frustrated because she couldn't get on the surfboard. All right, not bad for a start. We have another one. Follow me. Exercise B. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the adjectives in parentheses. For example, I enjoyed the book, but the movie was a little boring. Yeah? Stop the video, take your time, and do it yourself. No help from anyone. Very good. Have you done it? Okay, check your answers with your friends. Let's do it with me now. Number 2, I felt very embarrassed when I realized my mistake. Number 3, he's frustrated because the printer isn't working. Number 4, The final quarter of the game was really exciting. Number 5, we haven't heard from her since she arrived in Bangkok. It's very boring. Number 6, your trip sounds really interesting. Tell me more. Number 7, I'm tired of all this terrible weather. It's so depressing. Number 8, Max was very disappointed when he wasn't chosen for the job. All right, great. Now, just one more thing. I need you to circle the ed adjectives in exercise B, where ed is pronounced it. Let me show you. Frustrated, excited, interested, disappointed. All right, no need to memorize, no need to do fancy things. Just take a look at it. Right? Reflexive pronouns. You remember these, right? I taught you in the book. But let's do it together so you can remember easier. The best way to get healthy is to make yourself exercise every day. Number 2, John and Danny help themselves to food whenever they come to my house. Number 3, Jenna painted the bathroom herself. Reflexive pronoun. It reflects on the speaker, right? Or the person doing the action. Number 4, the computer turns itself off if nobody uses it for a while. Reflex. Number 5, I always sing to myself when I'm in the shower. Number 6, we found the apartment ourselves without any help from a real estate agent. And that's what we call, my friends, reflexive pronoun. The last set in the house, listening. You are going to hear 5 speakers talking about mistakes they have made in a foreign language. Listen and complete the sentences. All right? You know the drill. Let's do it.
File 4A. Listening. 1. I suffer from asthma, and I usually carry an inhaler around with me just in case I get an attack. Anyway, I was on a work trip. I was in Paris. I had forgotten my inhaler, and I was having problems breathing. So I went to a pharmacy and asked for une aspirateur, which I thought was the French word for inhaler. I realized it wasn't when the girls behind the counter looked very confused. It turned out that I had asked for a vacuum cleaner, aspirateur, instead of an inhaler, inhalateur. 2.
I was in Istanbul with a Turkish friend of mine, and we decided that we wanted to buy some bread. I wanted to try out the Turkish I knew, so I said that I would ask for it. So we found this tiny little store, and we went in. I said to the salesperson in my best voice, Taze erkek, which I thought meant fresh bread. Unfortunately, I got the word for bread, ekmek, confused with the word for man, erkek. So what I had actually asked for was a fresh young man. Luckily, my friend came to my rescue and asked for the bread correctly, but I felt a little embarrassed.
3.
I was 14 and I was on an exchange visit with my school in Madrid. It was the first night and I was at home with my Spanish host family, the Garcias, having dinner. We'd finished the main course and it was time for dessert, so the wife, Maria, asked me if I'd like some fruit. I saw some bananas in the fruit bowl, so I asked for a platon, at which point the whole family looked at me strangely. They then explained to me that I'd actually asked for a large plate. Platon means large plate, whereas banana is platano.
4.
I was in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil with my husband, and it was a very hot day, so we decided to take a break from our sightseeing. We found a street vendor selling cold drinks and snacks near the beach. I was so hot and tired that I quickly ordered what I thought was ice cream. I said, "Uma cosquinha, por favor."
As soon as I'd finished speaking, the street vendor burst out laughing. He quickly apologized and explained in English that I'd asked him for a tickle and not ice cream. Tickle in Portuguese is cosquinha, and ice cream is casquinha.
5.
I'm an American living in Korea. Usually I can communicate pretty well in Korean. I speak Korean with my wife every day, and I have a tutor that I meet with every week to practice my conversation skills. So, one day I went to the store to buy a few things. I usually take my young son with me, but he wasn't with me this particular day. When the salesperson asked me about my son, my answer confused her because I accidentally said "에제 없어요," which means he's dead. What I meant to say was "여기 없어요," which means he's not here.
All right, very good. Check your answers with your friends. Speaker 1 was speaking French to pharmacy clerks. Speaker 2 was speaking Turkish to a salesperson. Speaker 3 was speaking Spanish to his host family. Speaker 4 was speaking Portuguese, right? G-U-E-S-E, Portuguese, to a street vendor. And speaker 5 was speaking Korean to a salesperson. All right, now I need you to listen again and complete the table. For example, what they wanted to say and what they actually said. All right, let's do it.
File 4A. Listening. 1. I suffer from asthma, and I usually carry an inhaler around with me just in case I get an attack. Anyway, I was on a work trip. I was in Paris. I had forgotten my inhaler, and I was having problems breathing. So I went to a pharmacy and asked for une aspirateur, which I thought was the French word for inhaler. I realized it wasn't when the girls behind the counter looked very confused. It turned out that I had asked for a vacuum cleaner, aspirateur, instead of an inhaler, inhalateur. 2.
I was in Istanbul with a Turkish friend of mine, and we decided that we wanted to buy some bread. I wanted to try out the Turkish I knew, so I said that I would ask for it. So we found this tiny little store, and we went in. I said to the salesperson in my best voice, "Taze erkek," which I thought meant fresh bread. Unfortunately, I got the word for bread, ekmek, confused with the word for man, erkek. So what I had actually asked for was a fresh young man. Luckily, my friend came to my rescue and asked for the bread correctly, but I felt a little embarrassed.
3.
I was 14 and I was on an exchange visit with my school in Madrid. It was the first night and I was at home with my Spanish host family, the Garcias, having dinner. We'd finished the main course and it was time for dessert, so the wife, Maria, asked me if I'd like some fruit. I saw some bananas in the fruit bowl, so I asked for a platon, at which point the whole family looked at me strangely. They then explained to me that I'd actually asked for a large plate. Platon means large plate, whereas banana is platano.
4.
I was in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil with my husband, and it was a very hot day, so we decided to take a break from our sightseeing. We found a street vendor selling cold drinks and snacks near the beach. I was so hot and tired that I quickly ordered what I thought was ice cream. I said, "Uma cosquinha, por favor." As soon as I'd finished speaking, the street vendor burst out laughing. He quickly apologized and explained in English that I'd asked him for a tickle and not ice cream. Tickle in Portuguese is cosquinha, and ice cream is casquinha.
5.
I'm an American living in Korea. Usually I can communicate pretty well in Korean. I speak Korean with my wife every day, and I have a tutor that I meet with every week to practice my conversation skills. So, one day I went to the store to buy a few things. I usually take my young son with me, but he wasn't with me this particular day. When the salesperson asked me about my son, my answer confused her because I accidentally said "에제 없어요," which means he's dead. What I meant to say was "여기 없어요," which means he's not here.
I see. Check your answers with your friends again. So, wanted an inhaler, but said vacuum cleaner. Speaker 2, fresh bread, fresh young man, taze erkek.
Oh, hell no!
He was very lucky in Turkey, I can tell you that. Speaker 3, banana, large plate. Speaker 4, ice cream, tickle. Speaker 5, he's not here, he is dead. Well done. As always, some words for you. Link, scuba dive, skills, dance steps, multilingual, fluently, basic phrases, language barrier, teach yourself books, more exceptions than rules. My friends, make sentences with these words, and after that, compare your sentences with your friends. And another practice done, my friends. Very good. You did great. Everyone, as always, if you have a question, you can comment down below, and I will get back to you. And if you find my teachings useful, make sure to like and subscribe, or maybe you be the value. You try to create videos and teach people something you're good at. And last but not least, make sure to practice every day, everyone. I'll be seeing you. But hey, don't quit. You are not allowed to quit. See ya.